Yo, what's up everyone? In this video we're gonna be doing a crazy comparison.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the name to the Sony ZV-1, but it's gonna be the Sony ZV-1 versus the Canon R6 Mark II.
How do they compare? Honestly, end of the video. Yeah, Canon R6 Mark II is way better, but I'm gonna tell you why I actually purchased this. Just a warning, I'm not a camera professional. Like, obviously I'm not, because if not I would have had a whole studio and do all that magic stuff, right? But basically, I'm just a guy that likes this as a hobby. Basically, I started with Canon M50, moved on to the Canon R10, and then a week later, I bought the Canon R6 Mark II. And yeah, I spent about $850 for the Canon M50, and then spent like 1.2K on the R10, and then like $3,000 for the Canon R6 Mark II, just the body itself. And yeah, realistically, I probably have 2 months or less than 2 months of experience with all this, so take that as you will. Forgot to mention, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna be talking about a whole lot of different things about cameras. I usually just post random stuff on here behind the scenes. I might just make it a whole camera thing actually, because it's because eyes, you know, save angels eyes, because it's like take pictures with your eyes, like that. You see things with your eyes, composition and all that. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out, I'm not gonna lie, because yeah, I have a lot of different channels. I just do a lot of different things. I have like 172 channels, so we'll have to see. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of accurate. I might have a lot. Okay, besides that, take that as you will. Something I never told anyone, just like 4 of me. Take that as you will too. But anyways, let's get to it. Hopefully there isn't too much noise. Let's get to the video. First, to start off, the battery size is insane. Look how small this thing is. Hopefully you could kind of see it. Now let me take out the other one from the R6. Look at the battery size. This compared to this thing. Look at that. That is insane. It's like 3 times thicker. Okay, like 2.5 times thicker. This one has 2,250 milliamps, and this one has 1,240. They both shoot 4K. Shoots 4K in 24 and 30 frames, so no 60, so that sucks. No slow-mo, any type of slow-mo. I mean, there is slow-mo. The slow-mo you're gonna get is in 1080. 1080, it shoots 24, 30, 60, and even up to 120. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think you do keep audio with it. Actually, let me test it out. All right, I just tested it out, and yes, you do keep audio with 120 frames per second in 1080, which is pretty nice, honestly. On the Canon R6 Mark II, you're able to shoot 1080 and 4K. So 1080, it's in 24, 30, 60, 120, and even up to 180. There's no way I shot 120 and 180 frames per second and it has no audio. This thing shoots in 1080, 120 and has it. That's kind of a shame. One of the biggest things that's gonna play a big factor to the bokeh, whatever you want to call it, the blurry background. Like right now, you see I don't have any at all. But one of the biggest factors is the sensor size. Also the camera, but the sensor size. I don't know if you're able to see it, but that black thing right there in the middle, that's how big it is, right? If only I was able to show you how big this thing is. I can't show you because this one you can't remove the lens, and that's another big thing. With this one you can swap lenses, and yeah, that's going to give you a lot of variation and a lot of different things. So at the same time, it's like, what are you using the camera for? Is it just for like vlogging? Do you want to get into photography? Just quick videos around the home? It just really depends, honestly. The first camera I ever got was Canon 50 because I was either choosing that one or I think this camera, the Sony ZV-1. And I picked the other one because I was like, what if I want to take pictures, different types of pictures? And yeah, I ended up doing that. So that's a good thing, and then that led me up to this bad boy, and then I just bought this recently. The Mark II just came out. It's a little bit wider. It's like a 16-50, and this is a 24-70, but honestly I think this is better, and it's even better in low light. So yeah, for the Sony ZV-1, I think it's like an inch sensor, if I'm not mistaken, and this is a full frame, so this is maybe, I don't even know how many times bigger, honestly. Maybe 5 times, 10 times max, dude. Like honestly, I don't even know. I didn't do any research for this video, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it has a 1-inch sensor. This is a full frame, and this one, well, it was black because it was covered, but usually it's like rainbowish kind of. Honestly, I haven't used the Sony ZV-1 long enough to see if it overheats, but for the times that I was using it, I've shot in 4K for like small clips and it hasn't overheated. I've done 1080 for like longer clips and it hasn't overheated, so that's good. Canon R6 Mark II hasn't overheated. I've tested it out a few times, shot in 4K a couple times. I haven't done long periods of 4K, so honestly can't even tell you, but it does have a meter, so it'll tell you. Most of the times I shoot in the hot sun for like maybe 10-20 minutes at a time, so you know, it kind of depends. And then I go inside for a bit and then go back outside to the hot sun. And it's summertime right now, you know, it gets kind of hot. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I don't know if this is in the Sony ZV-1, but you know the hot shoot, the thing right here. I don't know if it's like one of those intelligent ones where you could just slip on the mic, because there's some Sony mics where you just plug it in, no wires or anything, and boom, audio clear. I don't know if that's a thing for this camera, but I know a lot of newer Sony cameras do have that. One cool thing is there's a big record button up here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big record button right here. Then the mic is right here, and I'm not gonna lie, the mic is pretty good, especially if you have the fuzzy thing on, the Dedicat, because like that, dude, it sounds so much better. As far as I know, I don't think Canon has one of those where you can just slip it on. And sorry if this video is all over the place, but hopefully I put some timestamps or something. If not, I'm sorry. But just watch the video. It's for beginners, dude. Like, it's cool. The aperture is a 1.8 through 2.8 for the Sony ZV-1. And on the Canon R6 Mark II, it just depends on the lens that you're using. Right now I have 50mm 1.8, so it drops all the way to 1.8. But something that you probably didn't know is that depending on the sensor size, you gotta multiply a certain amount. So the 1.8 kind of turns to like a 3.5 I think. And on the full frame, the 1.8 stays at 1.8. And there's a lot of different factors like compression. I don't know if you guys know about compression, but compression is basically the more it's zoomed in, like the focal length, the more compression you get, so more blurry background. And if you have a low aperture, 1.8, it would just give you even more. But you're gonna have to use most of the time you're gonna have to use a ND filter or a variable ND filter. It's basically just sunglasses for your camera lenses. I mean, I have taken pictures with the Sony ZV-1 and they come out nice. I don't know if I'm gonna post them. I think they're pretty nice, because honestly I don't even know how to take pictures. There was a motorcycle in the back, but I do quick edits. Cool, look nice in my opinion. The Canon R6 Mark II is literally like one of the best cameras there is right now. Top 3 in the Canon lineup, or maybe 4th one, because it's the R3, the R5, the R5C, and then this thing. The only RF mount lens that I have is the 24-105 kit lens. Even this 50mm is the EF one. So for Canon, they have a whole lot of different mounts. They have a EFM, the EF, and then RF. I have a few lenses. I had a 16-35 and a 24-70 2.8 lenses, but then I sold them because I didn't do camera for a bit, all the camera stuff. And then I ended up buying a 17-40 f4, and recently I just bought a 24, the 105, and I think that it probably would have been better if I got 24-70 again. But since I mostly use it for, like, I guess vlogging type situations, or most of the time I'm filming in the daytime, so I don't necessarily need it. Yeah, that's what I got. I would say I've seen the difference now of a 2.8. I haven't used a 2.8 with a full frame, but I've used it with a crop sensor with the Canon 50, and I've seen the difference now. But yeah, 17-40, I think it's pretty good, honestly. And let me show you this adapter that I got. This adapter is literally so sick. You slip it out, boom. Let's see if you're able to see this thing. Right? It gets dark. Light, dark. Right? It's basically a built-in ND. It's basically a built-in ND filter. So any EF lens that you have, you literally don't have to buy an ND filter for it. But I mean, I've tested a little bit, and I don't know why it looks a little bit warm when you do it with this compared to when you use one for the actual lens itself. But I don't know if I did something wrong. Maybe it was just a lighting situation or something, but that's what I got. All right, this video is getting pretty long. I'm sorry. One of the key things that I noticed when purchasing the Canon R6 Mark II is that there's a lot of buttons. I don't really know too much about the whole custom buttons and all that, But basically, for the aperture, the ISO or the ISO, and the shutter speed. So there's a dial right here, spin. This one right here, and this one on top. Right? I think that's pretty cool, and it's so much easier to change settings compared to the M50 and the R10 that I had. With those, like, you have to click the screen, or you have to like change dials. I'm pretty sure you can do that. With this thing, it kind of sucks because it's kind of the same thing. You have one little dial right here, and yeah. Besides that, you have to click right here on the wheel because Sony's don't have touchscreens, so that sucks. Okay, I think that mostly covered most of the video, a little bit of pictures, but let's talk about the picture side of it. The Sony ZV line don't have a viewfinder, so the thing when you go like that, or like that, they just have a flip screen. As you can see, this one does have one, and it's pretty big. The Canon 50 has a small one, and with this one, I could literally open this thing up, go like that, boom, I see you, change settings right here on the fly if I wanted to, boom, 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 just like that. I've used it a little bit, not too much. I think something that I did notice is if I use this, the viewfinder, it's more accurate on the colors than if I use the screen. Both the screen, they both tilt every single way. What do they call it? Or articulating screen or something like that. The Canon R6 Mark II has the video and camera mode, so they both have different settings for literally every single setting. So the M, AV, the TV, the P, the A, B, control 1, control 2, 3, and then the whole scenes and all that, you know. Most of the time now I kind of keep it a manual, unless it's like a real vlogging situation. I just keep it in auto because, you know, everything changes hella fast, and if I'm by myself especially. So yeah. The screens, obviously the Canon R6 Mark II screen is way brighter, way better. The Sony ZV-1 still has a pretty good screen. Just try not to be in the straight direct sunlight, because dude, like, there's some that you can see more, but sometimes it's just too difficult to see. I think that covers most of the main things that people use this for, just video, photos, like quick stuff like that. Nothing too advanced. I had a speed light that I recently bought, and I used it with the Canon R6 Mark II, and I tried it with the Sony ZV-1, and it worked. So that was pretty cool. I really didn't expect it to work, but it works. The record button is pretty small right here. This is a hybrid camera, such as this one, but you know, just everything's gonna be way simpler. This is mostly, I guess, no, it's literally both, but it's, more of a, a photo look. With the Sony ZV-1, the whole ZVE line is for video creators, for vloggers, and that's mostly what it's used for vlogging. So most of the time I'm gonna have the camera like this. It's supposed to be meant to use like this, right? This is what it's meant for. With the Canon R6 Mark II, I can also do that. Just hold it like this, like that, on a tripod or something. But I can also take pictures. That's why the viewfinder's right here. And Sony has a lot. Like, I heard there's like 40, 50 different cameras for Sony, and they have photography cameras, video cameras. Well, they're like cinema cameras, hybrid cameras, point and shoots like this one. I guess now they have a whole vlogging camera category. There's just a lot of different things. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, like I said, this is like a vlogging camera because the button up here is really big. It's a big recording button. Oh, something. I don't know if this is really important. Basically, this is how you zoom in. Left, right. In the front, as a zoom in button, it just zooms in. You can't switch out lenses on this one. And for the Canon R6 Mark II, depending on your lens, there's a prime, which is basically this 50mm where it doesn't zoom in at all. But most of the time, primes are very low aperture, so 1.8, 1.4, 1.2, and sometimes even like under 1, which is extremely good in low light. Most of the time, the zoom lenses, they're not that good. Well, it's gonna say if it zooms in. Most of the time, they're like 3.5 to 6.3 or 7.1, 4 constant 4 aperture, or even 2.8. But something about Sony which is pretty cool, there's a lens that's a 2 to 2.8. Literally, you have that one lens, you're good for everything, really. Or if you get the 16-35 and the 35 to 105, pretty sure that's what it was. I don't know if I just said that, but yeah, you literally, 2 lenses covers everything, basically everything. Unless you want primes for a specific thing. That's what primes are used for. Like, you know what you're gonna shoot, and that's what you're about to shoot. That's why we have that lens that doesn't zoom in or anything. For me personally, I think it's better if I just have a camera that zooms in, because most of the time, like I said, vlogging, on the go stuff like that, I don't mostly do pictures. What I think that's mainly what it's for, the primes. But at the same time, like I can use a prime right now and just record a nice looking video. So I'm sorry if this is a long video. Hopefully I covered most of the things. If you guys have questions, drop them below. I'll probably make a video about it, or I just answer it in the comments, and yeah, we'll see from there. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, last thing, sorry. Which one should you get? Depending on what you're doing, this probably was like $750, $800, brand new, but you could probably get them used for $500 or less. And the Canon R6 Mark II was $3,000. You could probably get them used maybe for like $2,500, just a few $100s off retail price, whatever it costs. I think it was actually like 2.8 or something like that, or a little bit more. With the kit lens, it was 3.2, and yeah, it just depends. But remember, you're gonna have to buy a lens for this one. With the Sony ZV-1, you don't, because it's already a built-in lens. The Sony ZV-1 has better audio compared to this one. I forgot to mention that. Which one should you get? If you're mostly doing video, vlogging type stuff, get this one. Small, portable, batteries are pretty cheap. You get 3-4 for like 20 bucks, 25 maybe. With a dual, triple, or quadruple charging capability. With the Canon R6 Mark II, it's gonna be way bigger. Like, look at the difference. It's way thicker and way longer on the weird stuff. But neighbors making a lot of noise, and I don't got any mics on me, so yeah. Which one should you get? Mostly video work, stuff like that, quick pictures. It's nice. I've used this a little bit for photos, a little bit for video, and pictures still pretty nice. If there's good light, pretty nice. With this one, kind of use it for everything. So I think that's everything. Which one should you get? Little stuff, I guess, just quick videos like this. Get the Sony ZV-1. If you're doing more professional high-end stuff, this is like literally one of the best things you can get right now. They get this, both good for video, photo, and I mean, that's really it, man. One last thing. Depending on what you're doing, if you're gonna get a Sony camera that switches lenses, like this one, a mirrorless camera, you also got to think about, I'm sticking with Sony, I'm sticking with Canon. These are the lenses that I have. Sony has a lot of different lenses, companies that make lenses for it. Canon just shut off for the new RF mount, so that's something crazy. They stopped the EFM mount. EF and EFS are done. The RF and the RFS are the new stuff. Barely any RFS lenses. These, I think there's probably 4 now, and they're coming out with an RF 28mm 2.8 lens. So that's a pretty good lens if you're gonna be outdoors, just shooting stuff like that. It's a prime lens, so yeah. Besides that, I think that's it. Which one should you buy? More professional stuff. If you know you're gonna stick with it, this thing. If not, you get this. This is cool, I'm not gonna lie. Both good cameras. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It's a SaveAngelsEyes. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to do that. Thank you so much. Follow me on Instagram too. Why not? We could talk more about these things. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of different versions of me. Probably the only video I'm gonna say this. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Alright, I'll see you guys. I think that's it. Boom. Cool. That's the thumbnail.